For thousands of years, we have been at war. But before, we were enemies. We were like brothers.
You're joining another iconic movie franchise with Transformers. What's that like for you?
A lot of fun, yeah. I have been a fan of Transformers for many years. I played with the action figures as a kid, watched the cartoons. I was a little nervous to step into these shoes and follow Peter Cullen, but I was thankful that this was an origin story and I was able to bring something different to it. I wasn't supposed to be mimicking what had been done before. This was following the story of these two characters, Megatron and Optimus Prime, before we know them as the all-powerful beings they are later in the films and in the original cartoons. So this was back when they were brothers and they were friends, and there was a much more youthful, playful energy to the characters, which was really interesting to explore.
The Transformers that I had, the first ones that I got as a kid was Ratchet and Starscream. What were your first toys, Chris?
I don't think my parents ever bought me one of the toys. I had acquired them from, I'm not sure whether I stole them from my cousins or they ended up in, from the next door neighbors somewhere in my house. But I had an Optimus Prime toy, and I remember the truck, and to this day, remember the difficulty I had trying to sort of reassemble it and get it back into place. And we just had one the other week, and they haven't gotten any easier. It's like a Rubik's Cube.
So where are you going to keep your Optimus Prime toy of yourself?
A good question. There were some big 8-foot tall ones on the red carpet the other night, and I'm trying to nab one of those, and my wife said, "Where the hell's it going to go?" And I said, "We'll figure that out, don't worry. It'll probably be on the lawn outside my bedroom."
So earlier this year, I saw a headline with you that you're going to be in the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. What can you tell me about that?
So Lorenzo Bonaventura approached me about that, and we started to sort of throw around a few ideas of what that could be, and again, all dependent on if we can crack a story and come up with a script that's entertaining and fresh and feels unique to the space. And I think that's what it deserves. I think the what has come before is beloved, and there's so many fans and such a strong following that we need to make sure we have something that is up to scratch and up to par with what's been done, and again presenting something new.
How did you want to differentiate yourself from what we've heard from Peter Cullen in the past?
Well, it just being a younger version of the character, there needed to be a playfulness to the rhythm. I was thankful that I wasn't there to mimic what he had done. We were allowed to sort of create something fresh and different. And then toward the end of the film, when Orion Pax becomes Optimus Prime, I began to play with the cadence then and the tonality and the sort of the weight to what Peter had done. And it was quite difficult. It was, a lot of sort of vocal gymnastics, and I had to sort of, contort my throat into certain positions to try and find that resonance and that sound. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the sort of creative adventure that it took me on.
In this film, Chris, Optimus, he makes a big bet on himself for his future, rather than just sort of towing the line and being, whatever they want him to be. In your own life, Chris, tell me a moment that you did that for your own career.
Look, I think where I grew up, a small town in Australia, couldn't have been further from Hollywood, and none of my friends or people that I sort of used to hang out with or in the circles around where I lived were a part of the entertainment business. So it was a pretty far-fetched, far-off dream, and I'm not sure it becomes a sort of a nature versus nurture conversation around, was it my parents that instilled that belief in me, which I'm sure a lot of it was, but also something, in me for some reason or another wanted to be in the creative space, and I had, a fair amount of naivety about it, but sort of inner drive, because I was easily bored, and the arts presented me or gave me was the opportunity to be creative and immerse myself in something that captured my imagination and stimulated my thinking. And once I found my way in drama class and so on in school, everything else seemed like a distant memory. You know, it became the only focus that I had and the only thing that I really believed that I would be able to contribute to in some way, you know, and be swept up in the adventure of it all. And it still feels like that today, you know. It still feels like a constant exploration, which I love. And yeah, I'm not sure what else I would be able to be a part of at this point, you know.
Where's Optimus Prime?
The filthy red and blue bot? Yeah. Gives off a corroded metallic stench.
Okay, corroded, that is too far.
Okay.